Hello friends, welcome to the world of business study. In the last 18 discussion, we have covered chapter number 1, that is nature and significance of management, chapter number 2, principles of management, chapter number 3, business environment, and chapter number 4, planning of NCERT. Now, in this discussion, I'll be continuing with chapter number 5 of NCERT, that is organizing, in which we have covered few topics like organizing meaning, steps in the process of organizing, importance of organizing, organization structure, types of organization, that is functional and divisional structure, comparative view of uh, functional and divisional structure, types of organization, that is formal and informal. Now, in this discussion, I'll be covering few topics like formal and informal organization, a comparative view, and delegation. Now, moving to the first slide, that is formal and informal organization, a comparative view. Now, the first is that what is the meaning of formal organization? By formal organization, we mean the structure of authority relationships created by the management, whereas the meaning of informal organization is that network of social relationship arising out of interaction among employees. In formal organization, we have a relationship created to the management itself, whereas in informal organization, we have relationship by interaction of employees among themselves. Now, origin from where the formal organization has been originated and from where the informal organization has been originated. The formal organization arises as a result of company rules and policies. Whatever the rules and regulations or policies of a company or an organization or a firm is there, and formal organization originates from there itself. Whereas an informal organization arises as a result of social interaction. When two employees or two persons interact with each other, they form a certain type of or create a certain type of relationship. That relationship in the organization is known as informal organization. Now, authority. What all the authority a formal organization have and what all the authorities and responsibilities an informal organization have. A formal organization, in formal organization, authority arises by the virtue of positions in management. Whatever the position, whatever the designation a person's hold in an organization, in a management, they have a certain authority accordingly, whereas in informal organization arises out of personal qualities. Whatever qualities, skills a person have, the authorities and responsibility they owe is according to that only. Whatever personalities, whatever how the personality of that person, what are the qualities and what are their skills, it completely based upon these qualities only. Now, behavior. What is the behavior in formal organization and informal organization? In formal organization, it is completely directed by rules and regulations. The behavior of an individual or employees is directed by rules and regulations. They follow the rules, certain rules and regulations, and the behavior is represented according to that rules and regulations only. But in informal organization, there is no set of behavior. There is no certain rules and regulations which they need to follow, and that their behavior will be shown accordingly. They does not have any rules and regulations, so there is no set of behavior in informal organization. Now, flow of communication. In formal organization, communication take place through the scalar chain. As the how the work of the scalar chain is already explained in the previous discussion, but now I'll brief you that in scalar chain they need to follow a certain steps, a certain levels for communicating to their seniors. The communication is like from downwards to upwards, whereas the uh, decisions flow from upwards to downwards. They need to follow this communication channel, that scalar channel chain, for communicating with their seniors. Now, in informal organization, the flow of communication is not through a planned route. It can take place in any direction. There is no certain rules and regulation or nothing particularly formed any line of communication that they need to follow for communicating. There is no certain rules like we have to communicate to the uppermost senior. They can communicate with any person at any time in any direction. There is no certain set of rules for communicating. They can communicate to any person anytime. What is the nature of formal organization and informal organization? In formal organization, the nature is rigid, whereas in informal organization, the nature is flexible. Now, the next, that is leadership. In formal organization, managers are the leaders, the top management, the uppermost people are the leaders in the formal organization, whereas in informal organization, leaders may or may not be the managers. They are chosen by the group. It's never been compulsion that the leaders will be the manager only. Any person who have a good leadership quality could be the leader of that particular group chosen by the people, whom the people are willingly wants to follow that leader. Now, this were all about the comparative view of formal and informal organization. Moving to the next slide, that is delegation. Sharing or transfer of authority and associated responsibility from the employer or superior who has the right to delegate to an employee or subordinate. Now, I'll be explaining you this delegation in brief. Now, what is delegation? Delegation is the process which enables a person to assign a work to other and delegate them with the adequate authority to do it. Delegation is a process of sharing work and authority between manager and his subordinates. Delegation means passing on the others of the share in the four elements of the management process. That is to say, it is the command of an activity or other people and in the responsibility for the direct decision that will determine the planning, coordination and control of the activities of such other people. Now, what is delegation according to Coons and Donnell? The entire process of delegation involves determination of results expected as assignment of tasks, the delegation of an authority for accomplishment of these tasks, and the extraction of responsibility for their accomplishment. Delegation helps in completing the work in time, reduces the workload of managers, and motivates the developed subordinates. In other words, a delegation is a process which enables a person to assign a work to others and delegate them with adequate authority to do it. In short, we can even say that delegation is what, like you can see the picture, of passing your own responsibility to the subordinate, because in an organization it is not possible that all works can be done or managed by a single person. As the organization's size grows larger and larger, there are many works to do, and it is not possible that a single person can take all the authority, all the responsibility for that particular task. He needs to delegate some of its authority, some of its positions, so that the work performed in a better way and even to reduce his workload. So, in order to do the work in a more efficient way, one has to delegate its power, one has to give some of its power to its subordinate, and for that, and after giving that power to its subordinate, the subordinate has been given some authority, power, and for that authority and power, he is responsible for his work and he is accountable for that particular work what he has been delegated. It is very necessary for an organization to delegate in order to achieve its goal in a more efficient and effective manner. Now, this were all we need to discuss in this discussion. In the next discussion, we'll be continuing our discussion on Elements of discussion, that is authority, responsibility and accountability. And we'll be also seeing the topic like overview of elements of delegation and importance of delegation. Let us know your doubt or any specific query below in the comment section. Subscribe us and ring the bell button so you won't miss any important discussion. Till then, enjoy studying business studies.